My DMs were filled with this post by Mark Hyman today about GLP-1 medicines causing thyroid cancer. Let's go through it. He says that a new study finds that these drugs, the GLP-1 medicines like Ozempic, etc., cause higher incidence of thyroid cancer. And now this isn't a new concern. There's a black box warning on these medicines due to finding a higher incidence of thyroid cancer, specifically medullary thyroid cancer in rodents. He goes on to say there's a 58% increased risk of developing thyroid cancer compared to people that don't take the medicines. He doesn't post the actual study, but here is the actual study he's referring to. My brother and I have talked about this time and time again on podcasts and many other posts, but when you look at it, it looks like, overall there wasn't an increased risk. However, in the first year, there was an increased risk of finding thyroid cancer. Here's the black box warning right here on all GLP-1 types of medicines. I've posted about this before, but rodents have different types of thyroid cells than humans. They express the GLP-1 receptors much more readily on their C cells, which is where the medullary thyroid cancer arises from. Humans don't readily have these receptors. Now, if you have a black box warning on these medicines and patients are taking them, they might be scared of thyroid cancer. What that means is that they're going to go ask for thyroid ultrasounds from their doctors, or doctors who aren't really familiar with these drugs are going to get more thyroid ultrasounds. What that leads to is more diagnoses. The drug didn't cause the thyroid cancer. In fact, they even say it right here, the finding may be due to enhanced early detection. There have been other studies trying to look at this as well. This is a recent one. This one, they didn't find any increased risk. So once we get past the thyroid cancer comments, he does go in to talk about how someone takes Ozempic, they feel terrible, then they do a diet and exercise with it, and then all of a sudden they lose all their weight and improve their health. He talks about how without proper diet and exercise, these drugs do more harm than good. He goes on to say that diet and strength training are the foundation of health, not just the drugs. And I don't disagree with that, but he does say that up to half the weight loss is muscle, not fat. Absolutely not true. I've talked about this before. He talks about when you stop the drug, the weight regain is fat, not muscle. We have no evidence to support that. On his last slide, he talks about prioritizing protein intake, which is great, but he says ideal body weight. There's no real ideal body weight. We recommend 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight up to a certain point. Strength training is good, but then he says to monitor side effects and thyroid function changes. Thyroid function changes are different from thyroid cancer risk, so that doesn't even make any sense clinically. And then he says, explore sustainable weight loss methods that focus on real metabolic health, one of which is using a GLP-1 medicine to help fix the dysregulated appetite so you can do these things that he's mentioning.